what is going on with Lionsgate? With what we've seen, we haven't even talked about one of the biggest things that's happened right now. That's what one of the movies, Megalopolis, that's going to be coming out pretty soon. Francis Ford Coppola movie. Something big happened with that. You already know what it is, most of you, because the reason we're talking about this is because a lot of people asked us to talk about that. But I decided to just take a look at Lionsgate in general because it is such a horrible summer for them. So what's the problem? And I want to get your opinion too, but I'm going to throw some things out that I think. A big birthday gift for me, because my birthday's next month. A big birthday gift for me is if you came out to see the 1 year anniversary of me doing sit down comedy at the Broadway Comedy Club. Going to be back in the Red Room September 27th. Oz will join me later as we just sit down and just lollygag with the audience. And then we're going to have all of you up for open mic. And that show, again, is going to be 9 p.m. at the Broadway Comedy Club. That's a Friday. Get your tickets now by going over to BroadwayComedyClub.com. One of the most talked about studios this summer is Lionsgate. And y'all probably talking about why they've been sucking. And that's the reason why people been talking about them. You know, it's not the kind of talk they want to hear. I'm sure they wish everybody would just shut the up and keep their name out the mouths. Because everybody's talking about Lionsgate Studios and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad summer that they are experiencing right now. Somebody get John Wick back up in here because that seems like the only person that can save them at this moment. They've been having it so bad.
Yeah, they're missing all their shots now for sure.
They really are. That line's been catching the bad one, man. You know, it's been one blow after another, after another, after another. It's so bad, Madam Web would be like, you know what? Things ain't so bad for me after all.
Not as bad as them.
At least I'm not you. Lionsgate, whatever the hell you are.
What is a Lionsgate?
I don't know, but you don't want to be one. Not right now. Right now, you heard about the flops that's been happening with them. And also, if you want to, we'll talk about this too. One big, very unfortunate marketing mishap that also happened. But the flops is what we're going to start with first. We're going to try to help this line out. See if we can fix his gate for him real quick,
I think we got some ideas.
Yeah, I think we got some ideas, man. You know, Hollywood never calls us, man, but you know what? It doesn't stop us from trying to help.
I'm waiting.
Yeah. They'll listen one day.
Yeah.
One day.
It'll probably be too late by then.
Writer's strike? Never would have happened if they listened to us.
True.
All those closings during the pandemic never would have happened.
The pandemic itself would have never happened.
It would have never happened. Never happened. Not at all, man. Maybe they'll listen this time. So with all these flops that they have, they're infamous now. And only in a very short amount of time. And the news keeps getting worse. Oh, that's so cute. That's when they thought they had something. Mm-hmm. Trailer stars now. Everybody gonna love this. People, that is Borderlands. Borderlands is not only one of the worst reviewed movies of the year, but it bombed so badly that it's going to digital.
In less than a month.
Yeah. About what, 2.5 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the 30th, it's going to be there. So in 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah. It took no time. It's much more of a liability having this in the theaters any longer. That brings us to this next movie right here.
And the soul cannot rest.
Yeah, don't come back, man. You don't want to. you don't want what's over here.
just take a nap.
Yeah, you don't want to come back to this, man. I got some bad news for you. Crow. Yeah, people, that's The Crow. Also terribly reviewed, but a little different than Borderlands because unlike Borderlands, The Crow has actually a slightly better, well, not even slightly better, it's actually triple almost what it has for bad reviews on the official tomato meter, 19% by the critics, but the audience is 65%.
Yeah.
So the audience has a fresh rating, while the critics did not like it. Now, that also makes me question if these people in the audience that gave it the 65% fresh score, if they actually saw this movie, because the movie opened up number 8 this weekend.
I know. I was bummed to see that.
And also, they're talking about the audience, but the audience coming out of the movies, they gave it a B- cinema score. And listen, if you're in school, B- might be okay. But if you're going by the cinema score, that's because audiences are like everything. Exactly. They're just happy to be at the house. So if they come out and give it like a B-, that's not tracking very well.
Yeah, they expect them to see the movie for free and be like, oh, I loved it. I love this the most.
Yeah, well, that's not even the preview audiences. They're talking about people who paid.
Oh.
Yeah, cinema score is getting the people who paid to see the movie and come out. So these people, even though they paid, they're still happy. A lot of people, they're not like critics. They go to the movies more for a social experience, and they're not sitting up here critiquing the movie as hard as, I am or you are. But when they come out, that's why you usually see A-, because they're just excited. So if they're giving it a B-, B-, that's very lukewarm. Yeah. So,
and The Crow has a very lengthy legacy that is big with film fans.
What is going on with Lionsgate? With what we've seen, we haven't even talked about one of the biggest things that's happened right now. That's with one of the movies, Megalopolis, that's going to be coming out pretty soon. Francis Ford Coppola movie. Something big happened with that. You already know what it is, most of you, because the reason we're talking about this is because a lot of people asked us to talk about that. But I decided to just take a look at Lionsgate in general because it is such a horrible summer for them. So what's the problem? And I want to get your opinion too, but I'm going to throw some things out that I think. So at first I thought it was budget because there were, earlier in the year, it was not that bad for Lionsgate.
Oh, did they have a hit or two?
Well, yeah, they did. See, they were going by the Blumhouse model. In fact, one of their movies was even a Blumhouse production.
Alice!
That movie was so bad. And I'm not bullshitting. I thought I imagined watching that movie. I don't remember. When I looked this up, I said, did I see that? And we reviewed it.
Oh yeah, you were mad at that movie. I kind of had fun with it, but you were pissed when we were talking about it. Like when I gave my rating, you were like, man, lower.
No, I'm serious. Lower. God damn it. I'm not playing with you. No, I don't even. Why I have such passion and anger for this, I don't know, because I don't even remember the movie. Now I do, after looking at it, but I don't even remember watching this movie.
I remember watching it. I had fun with it, but I can understand your disdain for it. It was unapologetically cheap.
Yeah, it was bad, but made money. Same for this movie right here.
Lock the front door.
People, that's The Strangers Chapter 2. I'm sorry, Chapter 1.
That made money? I thought that was a bomb too.
No, that made money.
Okay. It must have been really cheap.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, I will go over to the Wikipedia page to make sure, because I think the budget was very low, and I think it made good profit. Let me see here. The Strangers, Chapter 2.
Chapter 1.
God damn it, why do you want to go to another chapter? I heard the first one was bad.
Well, because it's like the third or fourth movie in the series, right?
Yeah. Isn't that like a reboot?
Yeah.
Or something? The budget, $8.5 million.
Oh, chump change.
Box office, $47.8 million right there.
Shit.
Yeah.
Big ol' hit.
There it is right there.
Yeah, 35 of that is domestic.
Yeah. Yeah, so that made money. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and take a look at what Imaginary made. I'm kind of curious about that because I'm sure that made money, but I want to make sure that I'm not sitting up here.
And the budget for that movie was a liquidated Halloween store.
Well, you know what? They made enough money to open another one because the budget, 10 to 13 million, box office 43.7.
Wow, same numbers almost.
Yeah. And so they made money, man. So early in the year, that's why I thought it might be budget, because as long as they kept their budgets kind of low, and I went through some of the other Lionsgate movies, and the other Lionsgate movies are stuff that they kind of just released, things from another country, smaller films that they're distributing. So, they were doing pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they've been known to release some hits every once in a while. I mean, they had that John Wick franchise that was huge for them, I'm sure.
Exactly.
And they released one of my favorite movies of all time, Crank High Voltage, which I'm sure was dirt cheap.
Yeah, you know, they've always had a way of doing, I mean, listen, any studio is going to have their highs and lows. It's just right now, it just seemed like this year, for a while they were doing good. And then I started thinking about the budget. And one of the things that I noticed is that once the budgets got higher, that's when things started to get a little shaky. And
That's one way to put it.
And I say that because there was one movie came out, I believe it was April. And so then this was when the budget started getting higher. The budget for this movie I'm about to show you, $60 million.
If I'm to do this, I'll need my own team. No! Matt.
They'll need to be.
That's the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. That's who directed that?
I was wondering who that was.
That's what's his name? The guy who does all the British gangster movies. Oh, Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, it's Guy Ritchie's movie. So once you started getting up there, because this movie was $60 million right here. All worth it for that tongue. This was $60 million. The Crow was $50 million. So, and then, listen, Borderlands, come on, that's over $100 million. It's said to be budgeted at. So, once I started seeing these budgets go up and then these movies not doing as well, I was like, well, maybe they need to stick to that Blumhouse model. Or maybe going higher budgets was just not a good thing for them to do this year.
Well, I think that the projects that they invested a lot in, particularly Borderlands, totally mismanaged, just to put it simply.
Well, yeah, and it was. And that's what I'm going to say, because it's like, looking at the budgets, I thought maybe that would be the thing, but there are exceptions. I tell you, Bill Skarsgård is a great example of what I'm talking about right here, because, and first of all, Bill Skarsgård needs to tell, just stay away from Lionsgate. He needs to tell him, don't call me anymore, because he had not only The Crow, but he also had this movie that came out early this year.
And step 3, join a team. Yeah, go team.
So
that was Boys Kills World, right?
Boy Kills World.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about low budgets. This was a pretty low budget. It was $18 million, and it still bombed.
Damn. And that's one of those festival movies. I'm sure that everyone lost their shit when they saw it, and the execs were like, oh, "Okay, people like this."
Yeah. No, I'm sure that's what they were thinking. Like it's that kind of crowd pleasing movie, but it is a niche movie.
Oh yeah.
When people start talking about it, it didn't get amazing reviews. It didn't get terrible reviews, but it was like, hey, it was almost like, don't rush out and see this, but when you do, it's fun.
I feel like I'm the target audience, and I still haven't even seen it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's out there, especially now. Like I said, it bombed pretty much at $18 million. Another exception is I'm sitting up here talking about, this the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The only reason why that didn't do very good, and that was a higher budget, it wasn't released in as many theaters.
Okay.
And I think outside of the U.S., it was released on streaming only.
Oh.
So this could have been, if it had gotten the same release as some other movies out there, bigger budget movies, 2,000 theaters or more, this could have done better.
Yeah, I mean, you release that on streaming around the world, that's available here too for people who want to see it.
That's right. Because now you not only do you have a bootleg copy, but you got a nice clean one.
Pristine.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, excuse me for interrupting the conversation, but we do have to give a word out to our sponsor. You know that. And that is Lucy. And you're probably taking this moment to even go and have a little bit of a nicotine break. And if that is you, don't go yet. Come here. Come here. Let me holler at you. You're going to want to hear this. And first of all, you know that I'm very honest with you folks out there. I personally don't use nicotine products myself, but I've seen a lot of you at our functions and our shows, and I know that you do. And if that is you, you're going to want to hear about Lucy. Why? Because Lucy is 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free, available in pouches, gum, and a lot of people's favorite, breakers. And here, let me show you what breakers are right here. Breakers are pouches, but with a capsule of liquid flavor inside that helps saturate the product. And breakers are available in 4 milligrams or 8 milligrams, and they include people's favorite flavors such as mint, berry citrus, and espresso. And pouches go all the way up to 12 milligrams. Now, if you're not a pouch person, that's fine. Lucy has got your back too, because Lucy also has gum. And they have gum available in 2 milligrams, 4 milligrams, or 6 milligrams. And for any of these products, you can set yourself up with a subscription and have Lucy delivered right to your door. Don't have to make any more trips to the gas station, waste your gas, or go out and get that stuff. Just have it delivered right to you. And here's something that's really going to help you relax. You know what that is. A discount code. You know I had that for you. So here's what you do. Go to lucy.co and use the promo code TOASTED to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Got to read the fine print right here. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. And this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. Once again, I want to thank Lucy for sponsoring this portion of the show. And as always, I want to thank all of you out there. And now, back to the show. It didn't have great marketing either. It had all right, but not great marketing. And plus, that title's kind of crazy.
And also, it looks like other movies that came out this year. Like, it kind of looks like that movie with the cat that also has Henry Cavill in it.
Oh,
one of your favorites this year. Yeah,
oh, yeah, exactly. So, you know, this could have done better. It definitely was. It did well with critics. And audiences liked it too. It's just, you know, it just didn't have the wide release. So when you look at everything that I just mentioned here about how, you know, this movie could have done better had it had the release, or, you know, you had one movie that had a low budget and flopped. I don't think budget was what it was the problem here. I want to get your opinion on this, but let me put this out here. So what I think it is that you just have Lionsgate just having a coincidence of shit right now. You know, it's just you're at a moment where they spent too much money on two properties that were not only mediocre to terrible, according to a lot of people out there, but no one asked for them.
No.
You know, Borderlands. I mean, it's late to kind of come out with a Borderlands movie.
Borderlands 3 came out like 5 or 6 years ago or something?
Yeah, and listen, could you have done one still? I mean, you know, they did a Fallout show, so that's the thing with this. They did something that probably should have been a TV show, but they decided to do it as a movie, and it's a little late in the game to do it. But they had done this, like the reviews say, if they picked a property that they did not understand and mishandled it like they used to do back in the 90s and early 2000s.
100%.
You know. You came in here, did not understand the audience that really loves this game, did not understand what made it popular, and you decide to spend $100 million of not knowing what you're doing. You know, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And listen, if you're going, because they changed so much, disregarding the audience that is meant for, disregarding the fans. But if you're going to change things, you know, do it to make a better movie. You changed things and made a worse movie.
Correct.
And with The Crow, you know, people looking at this, okay, so I would say this is a little better than Borderlands. Ain't much better than Borderlands.
I wouldn't even put it in the same category personally.
Well,
I mean, they're both bombs for sure.
I put in a category that they both failed. They're both movies.
Yeah.
You know, you like this more than I did, so it's not. I'm not going against your opinion.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, if you go by the reception of this movie, people are like, "Nah, I got all the crow I need right here." That first movie is just fine.
And also, your audience who would want to see this movie, they're busy going to see Deadpool Wolverine for the 4th time.
Yeah. You did nothing in your marketing. You did nothing in the lead up to this movie. You did nothing when the movie was made to convince people that this was worth a remake or a reboot. Mm-hmm. You know, this was not an event movie.
No. This
was not something that it was easily marketed to for the hardcore fans of the original. In fact, they rejected it.
Yeah.
So this was a baffling thing to do, and I don't know. I don't know what you would have done to actually, besides making something that would have been a better movie. I don't know what you would have done, but again, this is something that you did not need to. I don't think people were asking for it. The timing was wrong.
Yeah, timing was wrong, and that property is literally sacred to some people.
Yeah, it's a hard one. So you just had a week where I don't know what the thinking doing this almost back to back, Borderlands and then The Crow, but it was just it was bad judgment on releases on the release of these movies. Studios, they go up and down all the time. Having two massive bombs like this, one week after another, a couple of weeks after another, I think that's where things went wrong for them.
Borderlands in particular, though, that one needs to be studied because there is something wrong. There's so much shit on the cutting room floor that led to this product being the way that it is. I have so many questions about that movie.
This movie's miscast. You missed some of the. I'm sure you got great stories within the game that you totally ignored.
Oh yeah, Tales from Borderlands are award-winning stories.
Again, that's the problem. You tried to play it too safe and tried to be Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is what you end up with. And and to a certain extent, I think the problem there's a problem. You just had bad stories, man. You had bad scripts. Like I don't even think the pacing in the Crow script is that well. These are two misguided projects that happen on top of each other, and we don't see bombs that are this big happen one after another from the same studio.
That is true. So are you saying that they got one more in the chamber? You think?
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into that, man, because I know what you're thinking right here. So you got these movies that came out. Lionsgate is getting dogged out as the studio that sucks this summer. Suck ass. Got your lips all up in them cheeks, man. Coming at
That line's emaciated.
yeah, man. Just sucking ass this summer, man. And now this.
Nothing can prepare you for.
Imagine today's society as a branch of civilization.
Lionsgate is like, oh god damn it. The movie's not even out yet. Now what do we do now?
What the f*** is this?
What do we do? I mean, the movie's not even okay, those movies bombed. They're out. You had people didn't like it, whatever. But this movie's not even out yet. What do y'all want from us? That's what I feel bad about them for, man. Because this is not their fault.
It's not. You don't think so?
Okay, let me explain what happened here. With this is Megalopolis. This is from the legendary Francis Ford Coppola. In fact, the movie even said, this man is such a legend, you still doubt him today, but people, they spoke against his genius in the past, and look how wrong they were. Let me turn this up right here, because you need to hear all the dramatic narration. Back in 1979, they said Coppola was a fool. Let's see here. The Godfather, a sloppy, self-indulgent movie. Andrew Serres, the voice. Doesn't know what it wants to be. Andrew Serres, once again, that asshole right there. Who are these infidels that are talking about?
Infidels.
These infidels that are talking about The Godfather. Oh, it's not over. And in 1979, so Apocalypse Now, spectacular failure, hollow at the core. Oh, leave this man alone. 1999. 92. A triumph of style over substance. A beautiful mess. Falls flat. They're talking about Dracula. Oh my God, who are these people saying this? You know who they are? Nobody. They are a computer. A computer went and made up all these bad quotes, all these bad excerpts from reviews, from what looks like bad reviews of what we consider now to be masterpieces. And it was discovered that this was AI after the trailer came out. It was all over the place. And then somebody had to go up to Lionsgate and tell that line, sir, you know these are not real.
Yeah, can you source this? Oh, no, you can't.
Yeah, you could source it back to that goddamn computer, that program.
I'm surprised that someone pointed it out to me that there's a funny clip from Family Guy where Peter Griffin talks about The Godfather. I'm surprised they didn't have that up there. It insists upon itself.
It might as well.
Yeah.
It would be more real than these. Boy, I tell you, man, the smarter artificial intelligence gets, the more real dumb shit we do. This was a marketing team that did this. That's why I say, now before y'all get mad at Lionsgate and think that, oh, they got that marketing team off of Craigslist or something. No, this was a marketing team that anybody would trust because of the names behind it, or at least one name. This is from Deadline. So, following its recent debacle involving fabricated trailer quotes, Lionsgate's Francis Ford Coppola epic Megalopolis has cut ties with marketing consultant Eddie Egan. They say prior to his work as an independent consultant, he's held executive posts at STX Films and assorted major studios out there. So this man has worked in the business for a long time and should know better than to do what is considered now one of the dumbest things that they've ever seen done in Hollywood. You know you're gonna put these out and people are gonna. What would make you? You're in the age of the internet. You know people. The moment something comes out, they put a microscope up to something and analyze it.
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I just thought of this. What if now we haven't seen the movie yet? What if this is the marketing of the movie trying to be meta to reflect what the movie's going to talk about?
They already said, nah. They said, you know what? That Lionsgate even said, you know, for a moment we were going to try to do that, but like with the summer we've been having, you're going to know. No, they said no.
I thought I was really onto something for a second.
First of all, you still can't go and misquote people. If you're going to do that, people? You got to make up names. Those are real people. Oh,
God damn.
They had Rex Reed, Roger Ebert, Pauline Kael. Those are real people, man.
Yeah, they are.
So how you gonna misquote something from people that existed and their work is still there to be found? They twisted some of it around. I think somebody even said they took one from Batman or something and applied it here.
God.
This is one of the worst. This is one of the worst marketing one of the worst marketing professional marketing incidents that I've ever seen. That's done on this kind of scale. You just lied.
Yeah, it's like a catastrophe.
It's like it was the end of the day. You had 5 minutes to go. You don't want to finish doing your job. You don't want to work overtime. So you just made up shit.
That's terrible, man.
This is the reason why people don't want to use AI, because people go and do dumb shit with it like this. And if this was a small project, like something that you were doing for high school, yeah. But this is something that you put these quotes, you put at the beginning of a major studio release from one of the biggest names in Hollywood, classic, legendary Hollywood. Are you crazy?
They even changed the title, I think, right? It was called just Megalopolis at first. Now it's Megalopolis, a Fable.
And I got one dude already waiting. He says, I hope this fails. I said, why, man? So I can use my joke. He says, if it fails, he's going to call it Megaflopolis. And I was like, you were petty for that, man. He's like, I know.
I'm excited for the movie, man. I think it looks interesting.
Like this, no, I think the movie looks interesting. Because I look at this and I say, what is the bright side out of all this? Because this is out of all the flops they had, and just the bad press and media that they've been receiving right now, they're thinking like this is the last goddamn thing we needed.
But yeah, supposing that this is also going to bomb and not be very good, at least this is an original idea. This isn't based on a video game. It's not based on a classic cult film. Like, this is someone really digging deep, maybe out their ass, and putting it on the screen.
Well, hey, look, on the bright side of things, let's start with this Megalopolis. They already admitted, like, no, we did not make this up for attention. That's plus, shit like this will get you sued. But they did. Look, when you think about this, it was out there. They did get some attention. I mean, at some point, maybe the publicity might help this. This is not released yet. Mm-hmm. A lot of people who have not heard about this movie, because it's still somewhat not on everybody's radar. We know about it, but there's a lot of people still don't know about this. Now that we got this whole debacle that's out there, this news story, more people will be looking up, what is this Megalopolis? Mm-hmm. Who is this Megalopolis that up? So this might work to their advantage, because the story itself is foul. but it has nothing to do with the filmmaker or the studio. It's the marketing company.
Okay, I thought you meant the story of the movie, but yeah, I
No, the
understand what
story.
you're saying.
No, not the story of the movie. No, the story about what happened with this, the making up of the quotes. That's bad. But that has nothing to do with the studio or director. So when people look at this will stand on its own. People might say this is interesting, and it'll make them want to see it.
And if the movie's good, all will be forgiven.
Yeah, and it should be forgiven now. They didn't. It's not their fault, I mean, again, it's the marketing company that should have the. And I wonder what's going to happen to this guy because the marketing company is the one that's going to have to suffer. And this man has to now he has to wear that badge of dishonor. So I don't know what's going to happen with the marketing company, but I don't think Lionsgate has anything to worry about outside of that. What they need to worry about is the money that they lost on these movies already. But even with that being the case, they're still not in it for a lot, not as much as they could be. Borderlands is still going to sting, but the studio sold the overseas rights, a lot of them, to cover the cost for this. So it's that takes some of the price off of them to make up for this. And as far as The Crow goes, they only have to be in there for $10 million, which they pay for distribution rights, is what they've told Variety. So again, they're not on the hook for a whole lot here.
And again, I think The Crow will stand the test of time and will find its audience. Some people on the internet are talking about it a little more positively, but it's not enough to save it.
Maybe that might be the case. But that line that said, I want my money now. That's nice. That's a nice story, Julian. But what about today? God damn it!
I'm about to lose my zoo.
I'm about to lose my gate back here. Please, today. Nah, but we'll see, man. It's it's just a perfect storm of shittiness for them right now.
What's the budget on Megalopolis? It seems like it's like 100 million, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's 100. Oh, you know what? It might be because I think Francis Ford Coppola, maybe, I'm not sure. I thought he put some of his money in, of his own money, but I'm not sure.
120 million is the planned budget, allegedly.
Damn. All right, there you go. 120 million is the planned budget.
And it wasn't sitting on a shelf. It's just an idea that he's had for like decades, right?
Oh, yeah. No, he's been trying to get this done for a while. Or from time to time, he'd bring it up, but he's just now done it.
That was his own money, 120 million of...
okay, so he did spend his own money.
Wow.
So
I respect the out of that.
Yeah. That line's like good because I've had a hard time. He's throwing his pockets out right now, man. I'm kind of broke right now.
I had a question about the Borderlands one, though.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious how much Gearbox was involved because, right after the movie came out, they announced Borderlands 4, and I'm thinking they were expecting it to do a lot better so they could ride the momentum of this movie.
Well, their name is on the movie.
It was surreal seeing that 2K logo and Gearbox on the big screen. That was very strange.
So, yeah, I don't know, man.
It sucks, man, because even though I'm not crazy about that brand, they could have made a cool movie out of it.
Well, I think that they saw this, and that's one of the reasons why this is PG-13, because I think even Gearbox was expecting this to have a wider appeal, and they were expecting to make more money, and that just did not happen. I'm sitting up here talking about these failures, and I don't want to see things fail. I really don't. I don't want to look like I'm taking glee in this. I'm at a point in my life now where I look at these movies for what they are. A lot of hard work goes into them. A lot of people go into these projects, like Cate Blanchett. She went into this project thinking this would be something cool. Her kids would be able to see it. And, actors get into things and they don't know how it's going to turn out. Studios try to pull something together. Making movies is hard, and it's very unpredictable. And sometimes the more people you have involved, the more misguided the project is sometimes. You just never know. It's a very unpredictable business, too.
The way I like to describe filmmaking is like you're making a monster. It's always moving forward, and it's getting bigger every second. And you have to keep going forward. You can't stop.
Yeah. You're talking about the people behind the scenes. The grips and the production crew and all that. It's a lot of people.
The digital artists, like some of them are in the community who've been for a long time, and they were like, well, my work's out there, but kind of sucks that it's a dud.
Oh yeah, I'll give my honest opinion on something, but I hate to see this studio having so many bad bad movies in a row or so many bad experiences in a row. So, you know, I don't like to see it, and I hope everything works out for them with some of their movies that are coming out, which they do have many films that are about to be released. So there's, you know, this isn't a case of a studio on the outs. You know, this is not going to bring them down. But
anyone looking for a crow?
Yeah.
You guys want to go to Borderlands?
No, you can keep that. I don't need it, man. I got mine already. I went through some shit like this. What Lionsgate is going through is what I felt like I was going through this summer. Just a really rough patch. They'll get over it. And again, my condolences to everybody who was in these bombs and flops and people were catching hell for things they didn't even do. But, you know, it's part of the business, man. And it happens. It doesn't always happen like this, that hard. But they'll be back. They'll be fine.
What's the chat think about Lionsgate? They say anything interesting about this?
What do you think about that lion? What do you think about that lion and his gate? Well, chat, what words of wisdom do you have to bestow upon us? Let's see here. They said that a lot of people think that Megalopolis looks good. Cool. I'm very curious to see that movie too, man.
I think it looks so interesting. It looks so meta in so many ways.
And they got stuff that's going to make up the budget for them, man. That's right. They got John Wick 5 coming out.
Oh, yeah.
They got the offshoot coming out, the ballerina.
Mm-hmm.
So some of their bigger movies will come out and they'll be back on track, man. Corey, look up other controversy about Megalopolis. It's crazy. Controversies.
Probably talking about that thing that I mentioned to you during like one of the screenings at a festival where they had, what's his name, the lead actor talking to himself. Like they put a spotlight on him and he was talking to the screen, which begged the question, when it gets a wide release, you can have like a theater attendant come in with a microphone and read lines. It's crazy.
Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Is John Wick not official yet? Because I looked it up and it was in their upcoming schedule. So I don't know. I know the ballerina's coming out next year, but John Wick 5 isn't coming out. I thought that was already.
I thought I heard it was in production or something.
In production.
They're writing it.
Yeah, it's in production. It's not actually coming out this year. So yeah, man. It's rumored to be in development. Okay, well, you know what? After the year they had, it'll be in development now. Shit, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will be in development right now. I'm telling you. CCW Toasty said The Crow would have done better had they went with a new story and new character. I actually kind of think that too, man. That's a great point. That's what I'm saying. You know, it was almost like they were playing it too safe and trying to pretty much cash in on the theme of the other movie and
nostalgia.
The nostalgia of it. That's very true. I think with The Crow, you can do a lot of things with it, man. You don't have to repeat the same story, and they could have done something different here, and that probably would have been a safer route. I don't know how it would have done, but that probably would have been safer for them to do. But I know what they're thinking, like, hey, look, you know, nostalgia is always safer, especially these days. So I agree with you, CC.
I mean, I liked the movie, but I think that the timing and releases was wrong. They could have marketed this as a Valentine's Day movie or something, you know?
Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.